It's a tremendous honor and a pleasure to introduce His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Sidi Omar, the representative of the Frente Polisario to the United Nations, and who works in coordination with the MINURSO. My name is Christopher Halali. I'm the International Secretary of the Party of Communist USA, and our party has had a long-standing tie with the Frente Polisario, with the youth movement, the UNAC, and we have had the opportunity to meet with the President of Western Sahara, President Brahim Ghali, and to attend both the Polisario Congress and the UNAC Congress. And while I was in the camps in Tindouf, I was asked by the Sahrawi comrades, why are you the only American here? Have they forgotten about us? Have they forgotten about our struggle? We have been fighting since the 70s. And I committed to them there. I made a deep commitment that I would come back and I would try to organize as much as possible so that the struggle of the Sahrawi people against the ongoing military occupation by Morocco, which is supported by the United States and by Israel, would be ended, and that the Sahrawi people would have their liberation and would have their independence. So with that, I would like to introduce His Excellency Dr. Sidi Omar, and I hope that all of us can join together in a future delegation to the camps and increase the struggle for the independence and freedom of Western Sahara. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's really overwhelming, and thank you, Chris, for the kind words. Thank you very much, UNAC, for the kind invitation to be here among such dynamic and wonderful people. Well, your conference takes place at really a serious moment in our history. I think with what's happening in Gaza and elsewhere, but basically Gaza is a challenge to the conscience of all human beings on this planet. So it's time to stop talking and to act. And on that note, I would like to speak to you briefly about the struggle of the people of Western Sahara, which has a lot to do with the overarching theme of your conference: decolonization and fight against imperialism. So what is the freedom struggle of the Sahrawi people? As you may know, and like our fellow African brothers and sisters who managed to regain their rights and freedom through many long years of struggle, we were left being denied our right to independence because an African colonizer called Morocco occupied our land in 1975. And since then, Morocco has been occupying our land, oppressing our people, and plundering our natural resources, and our right to self-determination and independence being denied. In 1991, the United Nations established a mission called the United Nations Mission for the Referendum in Western Sahara, which was tasked by trying to organize a referendum in which our people will choose freely and democratically what would be their political destiny. But unfortunately, that has not materialized up to this moment. So despite the clear legality of this question, you may ask, why is that? And unfortunately, the answer is very clear. It's because Morocco has strong allies, including the United States of America and Israel, as Chris said. And because of that, Morocco has been allowed to delay and even to undermine the process leading to the liberty and independence of our people. And I'm sure that you can relate to this experience, because the complete impunity with which Morocco has been allowed to continue to occupy our land and to undermine our right to self-determination brings to mind similar situations that you may think of. Prime example, obviously, is the question of Palestine, which is a twin cause of the question of Western Sahara, and no wonder that Morocco has very close and strategic relationship with Israel, both of them being occupying powers. And this brings me to the question of now, after you have introduced briefly the struggle of the Sahrawi people, what can you do and why the struggle for freedom and independence of the Sahrawi people matter to you as political activists and to those outside? You support publicly, indeed is an action, the right of oppressed people to self-determination and independence, and that is really a noble stand, that it testifies to your strong commitment to fight against injustice and oppression. And this is where I would call on you and urge you to express your solidarity and support for the Sahrawi people, because they need your solidarity and support. A very small, peaceful people who have been struggling silently, peacefully for their freedom. But perhaps that's, as you may see, maybe one of the drawbacks of being a small and peaceful people. Your struggle is not newsworthy. The BBC, Al Jazeera, or France 24 do not find that a newsworthy. But you, political activists, internationalists, know about this situation. And then, as I said, I urge you to really work hard and to try to bring more visibility to this question through all types of initiatives. The United States of America plays a very key role at the Security Council when it comes to the issue of Western Sahara. And unfortunately, and apart from its continuous support for Morocco's illegal occupation, the former Trump administration, and contrary to the principle of international law, recognized the so-called Moroccan sovereignty over Western Sahara. The current administration has not publicly reversed that decision, so it is an urgent matter that should be taken up by urging the American government to go back to the neutral position of supporting the United Nations resolutions and revoking these illegal and unlawful measures. Lobbying your senators and House representatives, telling them about the plight of the question of the people of Western Sahara is very fundamental. But in any case, it's all about telling the story, passing the message of the Sahrawi people. And the little that you can do is better than doing nothing, because doing nothing is not an option at all. I'll finish by reminding of some words spoken by the late Nelson Mandela, the greatest son of Africa, when he said that to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a life in a way that enhances and respects the freedom of others. Thank you very much for your invitation, and thank you very much for your solidarity and support.